What does living in a new paradigm with Pluto in Aquarius actually look like? Today, I'm going to attempt to paint a picture for you of where we are in our evolutionary process and how we can best align with the changes that are going to help us be more in the world that we want to be living in if we are aligning with change. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro Vibe for Sunday, March 3rd. And we're now a good 6 weeks into, well, maybe more, I'm not sure exactly, into Pluto in Aquarius. We did have Pluto in Aquarius briefly in 2023 for a few weeks, dipping its toes in the water, but this time it's more real. We have Pluto in Aquarius bringing in themes of change, themes of the future, themes of what we are becoming, how we are aligning with the shifts that are going to take us into new paradigms. We also, right now, today, March 3rd, have a third quarter moon in Sagittarius. So that means a couple things. First of all, the moon in Sagittarius is a perfect time to look at our beliefs, to look at what we are unconsciously creating through our perspectives. And I was sharing about that yesterday. So I highly recommend yesterday's video from March 2nd on having beliefs that are grounded in the future or believing in the future. Also, with the third quarter moon, we are 3/4 of the way through the current moon cycle, which began with the Aquarius new moon. So focused on themes of change, themes of focusing on the new paradigms, the future, where we are headed, what has not yet emerged into our consciousness, right? The future is sort of like this uh, open canvas of possibility because we haven't gone there yet, right? The past is already written. We can rewrite the past through how we talk about it and think about it, but the future is definitely like this blank canvas. So, so the Sagittarius moon, the third quarter moon, both times to think about. So the Sagittarius moon is the time to think about our beliefs, to ask ourselves, what is the perspective? What is the lens through which we are looking at the situations and scenarios we find ourselves in that are constantly evolving, right? Good things might happen, bad things might happen. The future is not yet written. So how we are choosing our perspective or our viewpoint on how we look at the things that are happening in the world does impact how we choose to move through this time period, how inspired, creative, loving, caring we are versus how much we may shut down or disconnect based on what we're afraid is going to happen that may or may not actually happen. So with the third quarter moon, we have 3/4 of the way through the moon cycle, and it's the point in the moon cycle where there is pressure to integrate. So we have this feeling of things not working the way they used to. We have to update, we have to upgrade and in this case, its beliefs. So updating and upgrading based on what we've been learning this moon cycle, which is about change and about the future, we are integrating and being asked to take things up a notch in terms of how we view the future and how we think about ourselves and our lives and our evolutionary process, trusting ourselves that we are moving in the direction of growth and evolution. Because for if no other reason than when we choose that perspective, we have more energy. We have more creative possibility. We have more, right, when we believe, when we have hope, we can be more present with our fellow human beings to co-create, to think outside the box, to bring in positive perspectives on things. So there's that pressure for each of us individually to be sort of updating or upgrading our beliefs and our perspectives to align with the good things we want to create, the positive versions of the future that we want to align ourselves with. And by aligning, I just mean, yeah, it gives you that sense when you have that hope, you have you can be more energized to take action, to be there for your friends, your family, whatever it is, right? That helps you do positive things and show up in helpful ways in the world, ways that you can be of service to creative transformation and making the world a better place. So we're asked to update our beliefs to be in alignment with those positive versions of the future. That is where we are, and also we are stepping into this bigger vision of what is possible for humanity. Now, that is a bigger picture invitation to shift into a new paradigm. Right now, we have it is 3 planets in Aquarius, including Pluto, Mars, and Venus, 4 planets in Pisces, Saturn, Sun, Mercury, and Neptune, and then 2 planets in Taurus. So, but especially with the Aquarian and Piscean planets, Aquarius and Pisces in the zodiac are about more collective parts of our experience. In other words, not as personal. It's more about how we do this thing of being human together. Even together with like all, spiritual sense of all beings. So Aquarius energy is about ideas and how we think about things, how we conceive of things in new ways. Aquarian energy is the energy of how we have new ideas. In other words, in science, and Einstein coming along and changing our concept of physics, others in the past changing our concept of how the world works based on objective things like math, right? Objective observations and measurements. So Aquarius is more this big picture, objective, idea-based way of looking at things. It's detached. It is rational, very rational. So we're in that bigger picture version of what is possible as we think about ideas changing and our concept of reality changing. Then we have these 4 planets in Pisces, including Neptune, which has been in Pisces since 2011, and outer planet Saturn also remains in Pisces for 2+ years. So we have these bigger, slower moving planets in Pisces, also bringing this bigger picture of transcending our individuality, transcending our egos, seeing ourselves as interconnected. Now, on the one hand, this can dissolve our sense of reality, how we view structures and physical things in the world. So like information changing, narratives changing, misinformation, disinformation, outright lies. Whose narrative is it? Who's telling the story, right? So we can kind of lose our sense of what is so with the energy of Pisces. At the same time, we can connect with how we are all in this together. So that spirit of transcendence, of interconnectedness, of our oneness, right? Everything is interconnected in our oneness. Spirituality, dreams. So dreaming the bigger picture of possibility. So in other words, with a lot of Aquarius and Pisces energy, we are really opening up to how we can imagine new possibilities, new ways forward, reimagining the future, retelling the story of who we are, how we tell that story. So shifting into new paradigms, and we are in this evolutionary time of shift and change. All of human history is about shift and change, right? We're constantly evolving, learning, growing, doing things differently, messing things up, getting things right. You know, it's like that's the messiness of life. So here we are at this moment. And we have a choice as human beings in how we respond to what is unfolding. What are the circumstances happening around us? Again, where we are with this third quarter moon and asking us to shift our beliefs is that we are being invited to decide, do you want to go through the world creating it from a place of fear and powerlessness? Or do you want to go through the world creating it based on possibility, new discoveries, new ways forward that we haven't stepped into yet? So I wrote a book called Cycles of Healing. This is this is the book. You can find it on Amazon, and it's I'm the author, Marina Orms, and Cycles of Healing is the name of the book. And I just want to read this really short passage for you to bring this into view about how important it is, the perspective that we're choosing in terms of the reality that we experience. In other words, this book talks about how reality itself is much more fluid than we think it is. So we think of reality as this like fixed thing that we are victims of, that we are trapped in, and we're just sort of waiting for whatever the doom of the moment is to happen, right? But what this book talks about is how we are actually active participants in shaping the reality we experience and how we can live our lives from that place. So really powerful, Cycles of Healing. And this is page 18. And it says, because reality is what you know, when you change what you know, you change reality. And this is following a whole section talking about what is reality. And reality is what you know it to be, and you cannot know beyond your perspective. So this is even grounded in quantum physics and so on. It's reality is our experience, right? And we can't know what is outside of our experience. Okay, so because reality is what you know, when you change what you know, you change reality. You can change your perspective at any time. You have control over what you believe. This is very true. Okay, and then even though, this is a little bit later, it says, even though forces outside of you can, in extreme cases of disagreement, take your life, right? We don't have control always over whether we live or die, but we do have control over one thing, and that is what we believe. So it says, even though forces outside of you can, in extreme cases of disagreement, take your life, they cannot force you to agree with them. That is so true, right? And it is where our power lies, is in our beliefs, our perspectives, how we choose to view what is happening, and how we make the choices of our lives from that place. So what we believe in, and then looking at the ways that we can shape those beliefs and the ways that we can participate, because guess what? We are human beings here on the planet doing this life thing, and we have choices in how we show up for that. As we go through times of change, Pluto in Aquarius is very changey, very evolutionary. So I practice evolutionary astrology, and we look at everything in astrology from the perspective of how it is helping us to grow, to evolve, to become better, right? It's the way that our souls are evolving. So with Pluto in Aquarius, so previously Pluto was in Capricorn, right? Pluto in Capricorn is really taking us into a deep and profound confrontation with our limitations as human beings. But after that, so things evolve, the planets evolve, and as Pluto goes into Aquarius, we have this breath of fresh air that reminds us, hey, you are more than your limitations. I love how it all evolves, right? It all builds on each, what happened previously. So the energy of Pluto in Aquarius, which we have now through 2043, now through 20, so the next 19, 20 years, except for briefly later this year when Pluto retrogrades back into Capricorn in September, October, and November of this year. So we'll talk more about that another time, but really right now we are stepping with both feet into this Pluto in Aquarius energy, and it is bringing us the energy of change. It is saying, as human beings, you must evolve. You must become more or different than you have before in order to continue. If you are going to cling to the past, you're going to get destroyed in the rubble of the earthquakes that are going to be happening. So you might as well align with the future. And that is true of human beings. It's like when there's always something that's going to, that you can be afraid of, right? There's always that doomsday scenario. Looking back through my life, right? I'm in my mid 50s, and there's always been something that could, nuclear annihilation, AIDS, there's always something, a hole in the ozone, right? Do you remember that? At any rate, here we are now, and we have the things that we have now, but guess what? They might get resolved. They might get fixed. We might participate in the fixing of them. And so we need to show up in ways that this is about our own human evolution. It's about us personally, but also in the collective, our evolutionary process that says it is time for you to remember that this does not change without your participation. And so we need to show up. We need to participate. We need to live authentically according to the gifts that are inherent in who we are. So in other words, it's not going to work if you try to be the person that you thought you were supposed to be back in kindergarten, first grade, right? Be good, right? Color within the lines, right? With your pencil and, all the things. So in other words, if we're still living according to the shoulds that we have internalized, then we are not flexing and adapting into living according to who we are, being authentic, and being able to make a difference in the ways that we came here to do. So things have been evolving, in 2020, we had the triple conjunction of Pluto, uh, Saturn, Jupiter, all in Capricorn. So that, we had a pandemic, we had things that happened, hard things, very hard things. And that was pushing us in a certain way. We had the Pluto and Uranus square in the 2010s, in that decade, also pushing us to step into our authenticity. So we're evolving from there. It's all a process. It is all on this evolutionary path that we are on. And now we're facing the things that we're facing now. And so what is it asking? It's asking us to change from the inside out. And not I was talking to a client recently. It was like, it's not about walking through fire. This is about dancing with the energies that are here. So showing up in ways where you get to reflect and you get to go, is this way of me showing up here? Is this serving me? Is there a different way I could think about this? So again, coming back to our beliefs, our perspectives, our viewpoints, those are what need to shift so that we can align with the future we want to create. There is, as things shift and break down, it's scary because we don't have the normal guardrails to hold on to. The old map doesn't work anymore, but at the same time, there's so much possibility of that blank canvas saying the future is wide open. What do you want to create? How do you want to show up? How do you want to be here? And how do you want to live your life from that place of inspiration and not just hope, but creativity, right? Hope is kind of like you're sitting there waiting for somebody to fix it for you. That is the opposite of where we need to be. We need to be actively discovering ourselves and what it means and looks like to live our path of authenticity. So that is what living in the new paradigm looks like. Hopefully today I have been able to paint a picture for you of where we are sort of right now in this evolutionary process, how we can be thinking about it, and how we can be aligning with positive change to be actively participating in creating the future. And one of the ways you can absolutely do that is by understanding your own astrology chart. So what we talk about here is we talk about the big picture, what's happening for everybody, and sort of how those energies are unfolding in the collective, what we might see in news headlines, what we might all be feeling sort of in terms of the vibe, and how we can best align with what is happening and how it's helping us. But if you know your own chart, it's so much more powerful than that, because you get your specifics for who you are and your personality, your makeup, your authentic truth, your whole self, and the things that are challenges for you, the things that create conflict for you, the things that are inviting you to grow and change and heal yourself, generations, whatever is moving you through this life in terms of your soul's discovery and your soul's lessons. So in other words, having an astrology reading is an essential tool for navigating times of change, and I highly recommend it. I have opportunities to work with me. You can Check it out, astrologyheals.com. You get 20% off your first session. I also have opportunities to work with me in packages of sessions that can help you over time, right? Get some deeper support moving through a challenging time in your life, or really, getting that deeper support for stepping into your wholeness and your true potential, your most brilliant, limitless potential. So check it out, astrologyheals.com. Highly recommend booking some time with me. I've been having just fantastic conversations with many of you who have booked time with me, and we've been diving into your chart to see how some of these energies show up for you in your life. And if you've never had an astrology reading in your life, it's so empowering to get that key to unlock the deeper truths that you feel in your soul, but nobody has ever said to you. That's what it felt like to me when I was in my 20s and I first found this stuff. I was like, I had no idea that somebody had a language for what I was feeling and knew to be true for myself, but had no words for. So we give it a language. We can talk about it in terms of our soul, our wholeness, our mind, body, emotion, spirit, interconnectedness, and how all those pieces of ourselves can work together in ways that really inspire us to be the very best we are here to be, what it is we came here to do. So astrologyheals.com, ways to work with me, and you'll see that there's an option for you get 20% off your first session. So don't forget to sign up for the email list to get that coupon code. But also you'll see that there's a general astrological session. So if you're not sure what kind you want, just do that one. But if you want focus on your career, your path in the world, your work, leadership, how to take what you're already doing to the next level, you can choose a focus session. I have focus sessions on relationships. You can come with your partner and we can look at how the interactions show up. What I do is so much deeper than compatibility. I can't even tell you. It's like we look at where the issues are going to be, how you can approach those issues. It's not superficial. It's really speaking to your soul and your soul's evolutionary growth, as well as your partnership together and what that looks like and the best ways to tap into that. So relationships, parenting, if you're raising a child or just had a baby or about to have a baby, I guess you don't have a chart yet if you haven't had the baby yet, but at any rate, getting some insight into your child, any child under 18, I can support you in your parenting and guidance of that child and their evolutionary path. So many opportunities to definitely check them out. Also, if you're experiencing grief, loss, or a time of transition in your life, that is another perfect time to get some insight into your chart. So all of this is available at astrologyheals.com. Let me know if you have any questions about how to work with me. info@astrologyheals.com is how you can reach me. Thanks so much for being here and for subscribing to this YouTube channel. I so appreciate you being here and your support. And if you enjoyed this video, share it with a friend. Come back next time. I'm here every day with astrology for unshakable self-care. Bye for now.